on the floor of Parliament, there is no government. It is us who are government on the floor of the House. And therefore, even when there's an agenda that is not pro-government per se, or where we think government in a way has slackened, possibly, and I gave the case example of NG-CDF because it also touches on me. And you see the way I also struggle when I'm speaking to say I don't speak for any cabinet secretary, including Professor Ndungu. I speak as a representative of the people of Kikuyu today on NG-CDF. But we do so with caution so that we also do not in any way incite the House not to carry on with business. Case example, members are signing signatures to impeach a cabinet secretary on account of non-disbursement of NG-CDF. And you find a member of Kenya Kwanza signing to impeach a cabinet secretary on non-disbursement of NG-CDF. And it is within our right. But I just want to say, Your Excellency and honorable members, it is in our right to oversight these cabinet secretaries, but also to appreciate that all the challenges that we face as a country and as a government, there are no other leaders that we are looking up to resolve those challenges. We must be part of the solution. And I know we have had challenges with exchequer releases. We have really harassed CS Ndungu and PS Kipto on NG-CDF. But I just pleading for some understanding. In fact, Your Excellency, I was engaging a number of us, a number of chairs of committees, and reminding ourselves last year, which was the second session after the elections, and when just before we did our first budget, we will all remember the first NG-CDF disbursement was done at the end of February, the very first one. And by June 30th, Your Excellency, 100% of our NG-CDF disbursement had been done. For the first time since I joined Parliament in 2013, it was the first time that we had NG-CDF being disbursed 100%. This time, we have had the same challenges, Your Excellency. The first disbursement of NG-CDF was done early January, 10 billion shillings, and the CS National Treasury has committed to a disbursement of 10 billion shillings every month to ensure that by the end of the financial year again, we have 100% disbursement of NG-CDF. So it is that kind of understanding that I want to plead with all of us, because we know the challenges, Your Excellency, you've had with debt repayment. I know there is some very bright light at the end of the tunnel now with opportunities that come with the resolution of the issues to do the Eurobond and a lot of receipts coming from our development partners. The exchequer releases will be more efficient than they have been. Lastly is to request our cabinet secretaries, every time you find an opportunity to come and answer to a question or to a statement requested by a member of Parliament, please take that time as also an opportunity to espouse on government policy. And maybe, for instance, I don't know, CS Eliud Owalo has not been there, for instance. If you get an opportunity to answer to a question, take that opportunity to also challenge us as members of Parliament to also be a bit quick in pushing through government agenda, especially something like the ICT hubs. It's a perfect opportunity to come and speak to members of Parliament and to the country, because you have almost a whole hour on TV free of charge. So it's a very good opportunity to also use that to espouse on government policy and push our agenda and market our agenda to the people of Kenya. And I hope many of you who have that opportunity this year will make use of that time in the House. Yeah. And by speaking to members of Parliament from the floor of the House, you will also have an opportunity to speak to the country at a prime time when many Kenyans are watching. And I'm happy Cabinet Secretaries like the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen has done very well in taking advantage of even very difficult questions. I remember when there was a question on the allocation of resources to roads, and CS Murkomen was able to turn around the question and put it back to Parliament itself. And I remember when he left the House, those of us who are members of the Budget Committee and the Roads Committee were pleading with Honorable Murkomen to please not appear back in the House. On the Kamukunji, he promised that he would even want an opportunity to have a Kamukunji with members of Parliament. So I want to encourage other Cabinet Secretaries, please take time, CS Florence, on the jobs in the diaspora and other opportunities, CS Oalo on the online jobs through the ICT hubs, to use the floor of the House to be able to market what we are doing as a government. Your Excellency, we also have the national government administration laws that are also bound to come to the Assembly this session. Also the NADCO report, our affordable housing bill, which, Your Excellency, I'm happy to report we began debate last week on Thursday. We were not able to conclude, and hopefully we should be able to conclude that tomorrow afternoon. Our plans were to be able to conclude debate and close it tomorrow afternoon. I know on Thursday a number of us were not present in the National Assembly, and that's one of the things, Your Excellency, I'll be asking many of us who are here to, in this very busy session of this year, to avail ourselves in the House, and especially when we have very critical government business, to make sure that we are there in the House. Last week on Thursday, we were not very many of us, and unfortunately, even when we have critical business, I know there is a complacency always to feel safe in numbers because we have a very clear majority. Every time the whip or any one of us is around trying to mobilize people to get back to the House, they tell you, niko peke yangu tu, wacha nakuja. And we all forget that it is you as an individual who adds to the collective numbers. And when one person again stays away in our constituency saying it's only myself, another one is reasoning the same way, and eventually we find ourselves that we don't have the numbers. And it's unfortunate, last week, I have to report here, Your Excellency, on Thursday afternoon, the other side were more than us in the House. In fact, at one point, the leader of minority approached me to close debate on the affordable housing bill. Of course, knowing that if we closed at that point, they had the numbers. But we should be able to conclude that business tomorrow. Hopefully, on Wednesday afternoon, we get into third reading. Again, during third reading, we will be asking all of you to be present so that we're able to conclude with that debate and be able to process the bill forward to the Senate so that they're able to advertise it by Friday, do their public participation, and we get a new affordable housing bill before the next payroll. And usually many corporations, both private and public, process their payrolls after the 15th of the month. So we hope by the 15th of March, Your Excellency, you will have processed, you will have assented to the new affordable housing bill.